All right, y'all, today's video is about the increasing rise in squatters. So we're getting a 2008 flashback. So we're gonna get into that article soon, but just wanted to, we're out here in the West Food Forest, and today we got this is a hot tip for you. If you call your local power supplier, at least if you're out in the country like we are, they will provide you with free mulch. So this is one of many loads to come. Last year, I'm pretty sure we had I think we had about 60 yards delivered. So this is black, this turns into black gold, y'all. This is water conservation. If you heavy mulch your trees with a nice ring, they require 50% less water, saying we're saving the planet, bro. And I wanted to show you all over here, before we get into this article, you can see the tree is starting to produce all of those blossoms that are now folding in. They'll all turn into peaches. And so what I'm doing, this is a great flavored mulberry. It's very prolific. But when I attempt to root mulberries, the other thing I'll do is I will bud graft their friends on here. So I have a lot of different varieties bud grafted on there. And some of these will make it and some of them won't. And when they're young, I try to keep the tinfoil over them. But I can show you an example. One over here. I unwrap them, cut them free so they can kind of develop. And then I wrap them back up. So I won't take the cellophane off of that one right now, or whatever you want to call it. See, so there's a good bud graft. You can still see that the bud is green and it's going to break, and that's grafted. So this is a white Pakistani that's grafted onto this black unknown tree. So that's kind of the cool stuff. So there's about 8 varieties grafted on here. There's been about 20 varieties. A lot of them die on me somewhere in the process. That's all part of the art and the science of artisan and developing an agrarian skill set, learning real life skills that matter, that like can change your life, change other people's lives, that can feed your family. Just a quick reminder, this is a value for value proposition, and if you appreciate the content that we manufacture, produce, and put out on all these different platforms, please go to TheTexasBoys.com. We have some awesome merch. We have great unvaccinated, unpasteurized local honey for your consumption. We have CBD Lion's Mane coffee. We have all different kinds of roast coffee, teas in bulk, candles, all kind of great stuff. So please go check that out. If you want to support us, you support us there, you get that in return, and we appreciate and love you all, and thank all of our customers from the bottom of our hearts. Y'all have a great day. Back to the video. And so we're real big on real life skills and application instead of just talking about it and wringing our hands and you can't eat anything because it's sprayed with chemtrails and all that stuff. I mean, you control what you can control, y'all, all right? So to this article, this comes from Zero Hedge. Squatters increasingly taking over homes across the U.S. with no end in sight, experts warn. So if you were alive in 2008, like a few of you millennial, trad, whatever the abbreviations are, right? Because I'm not cool like that. I remember this exclusively when there was people, like a large number of people in the Chicago area. They were squatting in homes and they made up these crazy liberal laws where they were literally letting these people just basically take over the home if they squatted there long enough, you know, like squatters' rights. It's very interesting. But amid an increase in reports of squatters taking over people's homes across the country, one expert warned that the phenomenon is on the rise, and noted that removing a squatter could take months. Real estate lawyer Jim Burling told Fox News on Tuesday that any home that is not occupied for a period of time could be targeted by squatters. If the owner tries to call the police, officers may not be able to do much, and at the same time, using courts could turn out into a lengthy and expensive process, he warned. The other thing that they'll do is they'll gut you the home and they'll rip any copper out of the home and scrap it. That's always nice, and that's a pretty cool trick. Most homes are PEX now, so any of you meth head, fentanyl, crackhead squatters that think you're going to rip a bunch of copper out of a house, you're going to be smoking meth in a PEX plastic tube, I guess. Serves you right, I guess. Okay. I think it's a fairly big problem, and I think it's pretty hard to avoid, Burling, who is vice president of litigation for Pacific Legal Foundation, said. In cases where a property owner is attempting to evict a squatter, generally, the court system has to get involved to determine whose paperwork is legitimate. If somebody is living in a home and says, hey, I signed a lease, I'm paying rent, I have a right to be here, whether or not that's true, the police hear that story, then they hear the story of somebody who's not living there and saying, this is my place, these people don't belong here. The police officer can't make the legal determination. He added that it's not the job of the police to do that. It's not their bailiwick. If you have that kind of dispute, it's got to go to court, he said. Properties that are most susceptible to attracting squatters are people who have left them vacant due to a family death or foreclosure. And this whole squatter thing is very indicative of foreclosures. We're going to see foreclosures continue to rise, spike. We're planning on buying some investment properties. We're waiting. We're holding our liquidity close, and we're also looking at maybe buying some equipment, and we're waiting for it. This thing is going to poopa the beta in, not to be confused with Beto O'Rourke. It's going to poopa the beta very soon. So 12 months. Inevitable. They're bailing everything out. This time, the liquidity, they're talking about freezing or lowering the rate, and the quantitative easing and the bailouts and these other too big to fail banks that are pumping Credit Suisse and stuff. This is crazy stuff, y'all.
Will it be bigger than 08?
It'll be way bigger than 08, way bigger. And it'll be a way better opportunity. It's gonna be really bad and ugly for a lot of people too. And it's gonna not be nice for all of us.
What do you think we're gonna see?
I have no idea, because anything is so past speculation, because the amount of liquidity is, well, y'all, we can't even comprehend the national debt right now. And this whole right-left thing, if you look at just how much Trump quintupled the national debt over O-Dum-Dum, and then you got O-Bummer 3 now that can't even speak a full sentence, and these people are just like, they're cash machine junkie freaks. They won't stop the bleeding. They won't get off the easy cash dope, and nobody held anybody accountable. If we would have let these big guys fail, the small regional and fiscally responsible banks like we use would flourish. Everybody would flock to the small fiscally responsible regional banks. The two regional banks that we bank with are very liquid, and they will be attacked. I talked to the president of one. I called and left a message. The CEO of our other bank went on with Michael Smirkanish and gave everybody his cell phone number and said, if you have any questions, call me. I called and left a message, but I do know people that have talked to him. These small regional and local banks have been very fiscally responsible. I don't know if they're going to be able to dodge this stuff. I asked my one bank today about CBDC, and they say that they will not, and it's an impossibility. They've tried these test runs, and it continually and perpetually crashes. And they said that they do not see, which I think they're being naive. I think FedNow is going to find a way to backdoor this whole thing. But yeah, if they would have let these big banks fail, all the people that were acting responsibly and the adults in the room, right? All of those banks and all the people that chose wisely and selected wisely their bank and talked to their bankers and talked to the presidents and the VPs, just want to know where their money's at, to make an educated decision, to just act like an adult instead of like throwing poop against the wall and like seeing if it would stick or not. Like all of that fiscal and all of that responsible adulthood would be rewarded. But because of the District of Criminals and because the global beast system, y'all, all this, oh, the KGB and Putin and Orange Man. Look, the scamdemic thing was a global beast move. All of the governments of the world lockstep, all of them did the juicy juice. All of them tracked and traced China, 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 and I like the way China tracks and traces everybody. Come on, y'all. This is the beast system. It's a global one world, one new world order beast, and it's here, and it's loud, and it's proud. You ain't voting your way out of it. I'm just saying, all right? If you didn't figure out from the scandemic that everybody's in on it, and whoop speeds, beautiful, and I'm so proud that I killed a bunch of people, it's beautiful, you're naive at best. I mean, if you can't point to just history that's 2 years old, and if people can't see past that, then there's no helping them. So we're going to march forward here. And this whole squatter thing, and this uptick in squatters, and this flooding the court systems with property rights stuff of people squatting in houses, is just a massive indicator of the foreclosure tidal wave and what is coming. We'll put the link to this article down below. You can read some more of the statistics. Recent cases. A Chicago area family told local media that they're currently embroiled in a legal fight to evict a man who was described as a professional squatter, who is now commandeering their deceased mother's home. After Darthula Young's mother, who owned a duplex in Chicago's South Side for decades, died last year, the property was transferred to her family members, they told CBS Chicago. On September 23rd, I got a call from the neighbors to say that there's been a shooting in the building. And when I went to the building and put my key in, it didn't work. The person who had been shot, I don't know if y'all could hear that, shots fired! The person that had been shot in the apartment, this guy named Taquito Murray, came back from the hospital and informed us that the police, that he now lived there, that he had rights. Oh, he's a thug life, and he was a professional squatter. In another recent incident, and the same thing in 08 happened prolifically in Chicago. So when you get to these liberal Babylonian cesspools, not that Dallas is any better, y'all, this kind of stuff is prolific. And this is the beginning of the liquid cash spending crack binge of this easy money, and the pain, and they kick the can down the road. The pain is inevitable. They can't print their way out of it. They can't interest rate their way out of it. The chickens are coming home to roost. And all we've been saying for the last 8 years is buy a little dirt, move. 8 years. We said that 8 years ago. We're saying the same thing now. And history is proving these recommendations to be clairvoyant or whatever. There's nothing magical to any of this, okay? It's just basic math. It's just observing the masses and doing the opposite. But this is just another indicator of the financial dominoes that are falling. This is one more domino, y'all. And I wish it wasn't gonna happen. I would say, cross your legs and hum and point your thumb and your middle finger and do some kind of witchcraft and meditate or something, but that ain't gonna change nothing. So I would recommend moving out of the flashpoint cities, buying a little piece of dirt and planting something. What if I'm in an apartment? I don't know, plant something in a pot. I mean, think, there are people that are doing what they can where they're at with what they got. So see what they're doing and do some of that. Don't do whatever the guy, the pothead in the apartment on that pays Xbox 24/7, streams Xbox. Bro, I'm on not Twitter, but there's this Screech. What's the there's a social media that's just for these crackhead retarded gamers. Well, whatever it is, I don't even care what it is. But Stitcher, Sketcher, Streecher, Tweeter, Skeecher, I forget, y'all. Don't do that, and don't be on that thing. But go get a real job. All right, but we love y'all. All we're trying to do is encourage you, all right? It's great getting to talk to you today. All right, y'all. So like, share, subscribe, join our Rumble in case we get vaporized. Make sure you're on our backup channel so we can stay in contact with y'all. And we will see y'all in the next video.